Amid a global music market increasingly saturated with digital content, one name has created a statistical anomaly that cannot be ignored: Jungkook. In a relatively short time, this South Korean singer has achieved streaming records that not only shocked the industry, but also forced observers to reassess the definition of relevance, appeal, and the penetration of non-Western music on digital platforms. Without massive traditional promotion in the United States and Europe, without aggressive strategies from conventional media, Jungkook placed himself among the world's elite musicians through one main tool: the power of streaming. The question then becomes, how can a solo Asian artist, in his solo debut, surpass many already established big names in the global industry? What makes this achievement feel so monumental is not just the numbers, though the figures are indeed extraordinary, but how the process occurred outside the usual success formula applied in Western markets. His debut album, Golden, became a turning point in streaming history for Korean artists. One of its tracks, 7, not only dominated the Spotify global chart, but also recorded itself as the fastest song to reach 1 billion streams by an Asian male soloist. This achievement happened within just a few months of release and has continued to grow consistently, even after the promotional period ended. It is direct proof that the song wasn't just a fleeting viral hit, but had high durability in global play rotation, something not easily achieved in the age of fast and superficial music consumption. Beyond that, Golden as an album managed to gather more than 500 million streams within the first few weeks alone, making it one of the most successful solo debuts in Spotify history for an Asian artist. More interestingly, this performance was driven by a global audience, not only from Korea or Southeast Asia, but also from Europe, South America, and even Africa. With such a wide listener distribution, Jungkook has proven that K-pop is no longer a niche product, but has become a global cultural language understood in nearly all parts of the world. Yet these figures also raise a critical question: are we witnessing a true breakthrough moment? Or is this merely the result of digital platform algorithms prioritizing certain artists based on particular trends? Many argue that streaming success often does not objectively reflect music quality, but rather the outcome of a highly complex system of distribution and promotion. But in Jungkook's case, public consumption patterns show consistent tendencies. His replay rates are high, his songs stay in popular playlists, and listener engagement with his content on social media remains large even after months have passed. Another aspect worth noting is how Jungkook did all of this during his group's hiatus, BTS. He didn't appear in a collective context, didn't use the group's big name as his main promotional tool, and didn't rely on the group's image that has long been BTS's main strength. Instead, he built a personal narrative, music focused on individual themes, with freer genre exploration and a more mature visual aesthetic. This is a bold move not often taken by other K-pop soloists. And it seems the move paid off. Some industry observers even describe Jungkook as a rare case in the global digital music map, where an Asian artist can achieve large-scale global streaming conversion without relying on the conventional promotional systems of dominant markets. He has proven that when a musical work has strong emotional resonance and high production quality, it can transcend language, culture, and even algorithms. Nevertheless, it should be emphasized that most of the data used to measure this success comes from platforms that also have economic interests in boosting trending artists. Therefore, it's important for the public to remain critical and ask, is this streaming success entirely organic, or are there external factors pushing it to the surface? Do the numbers we see on Spotify truly reflect genuine popularity, or are they merely representations of a system that prioritizes short-term engagement? We invite readers to reflect for themselves. Do you truly believe this is history being written naturally, or is it part of a global music industry strategy to expand the market through new faces? Do you feel Jungkook's streaming achievement is an honest form of recognition from the world, or merely a form of collective expectation designed to satisfy the digital market? Do these fantastic numbers reflect real enthusiasm, or are they just a depiction of how platform systems shape our consumption? Amid the doubt and euphoria, one thing is undeniable: the impact Jungkook has made in the digital world. He has set a new standard for K-pop soloists. challenged the dominance of Western musicians, and paved the way for the next generation of Asian artists to dream bigger. History may record him as a pioneer of a new era, or perhaps as the most prominent example of how the digital world can create legends in an instant. And in the end, only the public can determine whether this is a story of real triumph, or about how we all, unknowingly, play a role in creating new myths in global pop culture. Behind the big surprise sparked by Jungkook's streaming records lies a necessity to reanalyze the role of media, digital platforms, and how we understand success in an era of highly manipulable information. In today's viral era, numbers can deceive, opinions can be shaped, and public perception can be subtly directed through media and platform framing. So the question is this extraordinary achievement truly the result of hard work and an organic global public response? Or are we merely consuming a narrative neatly crafted to fulfill collective expectations? As Jungkook's name continues to trend globally on Spotify, many greet it with pride. But on the other hand, some have begun to question whether the numbers truly reflect natural public enthusiasm, or if there's a pattern of algorithmic distribution that systemically boosts certain content more than others. In ecosystems like Spotify, YouTube, or TikTok, algorithms hold immense power in determining who appears on the front page and who gets buried behind the screen. Is Jungkook a positive victim of that algorithm, or rather a dominant actor who successfully manipulated it through highly effective strategies? The public needs to realize that high streaming numbers don't always equate to absolute quality or honest artistic success. There are numerous mass campaigns designed by fanbases to drive up streaming figures without truly representing the organic interest of the broader public. This is not an accusation, but a fact that needs to be examined openly. In a world where digital marketing strategy can defeat journalistic narrative, how much room is left for honesty and authenticity? We also need to question why the media is so quick and uniform in highlighting this success narrative without space for deeper verification. On TikTok, thousands of short videos showcase Jungkook's streaming success alongside emotional fan reactions, but very few actually verify the data sources or explain the methodology used for calculations. Do we really understand how that 1 billion stream figure was collected? Who audited its validity? Are we simply believing it because the narrative feels delightful and prideful? Our tendency as viewers to immediately believe information that aligns with group identity and expectations is very strong, especially in the context of fandom. So it's no surprise that when an extraordinary achievement like this is reported, very few are willing to re-ask, is this news true? Or do we just want it to be true? Here lies the greatest challenge of the digital generation: distinguishing between emotional validation and data validation. Even on major platforms like YouTube, many entertainment news channels replicate this narrative without touching on its critical side. They only amplify the phenomenon's existence without giving readers or viewers room for deeper reflection. Often, even the thumbnails used are bombastic, with titles designed to shock, not to explain. This is where we need to ask, is this journalism or just entertainment wrapped in the form of information?